where the Packers have signed Christian Watson to her extension.
He's got a touchdown.
The Green Bay Packers all the way in on Christian.
Watson there, touchdown.
Yes. I think he's going to be a really good player.
Christian Watson makes a move. Touchdown, Green Bay.
This is what I dreamed of doing all my life.
Watson cutting left to the house to the touchdown.
Outstanding opportunity for me. It's from finally, getting able to come out here and do it and start working. I'm really excited.
Oh, sensational touchdown. Yes, Christian Watson. Oh, did he catch that?
This is unbelievable.
4 years, $110.5 million. Christian Watson has me thinking about the wide receiver room. And is that the strongest room for the Green Bay Packers right now, Brandon? That's one of the questions from today. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, typically today, Brandon Snide. What's up, B?
Good morning. It's good to be back. I love the drive in the morning, Trevor. The empty roads, I can roll the windows down. It's summertime in Wisconsin. I actually really like coming in the morning. It's nice.
It's amazing how light it is.
I know. There's nobody in the building. I can yell and scream as loud as I want, wake myself up. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Good to have you. Thanks for jumping in. All right, as we do each time, let's play catch-up.
Packers.
The news out of the Packers is that mandatory minicamp is done. So now what? Well, first things first, Sean Ryan had a conversation about change in the Packers locker room. Obviously, he, the starting center, the new deal, and post-mandatory minicamp, where it's the first time we get a good look at a bunch of these guys. Here's what he had to say about change in his play.
I think part of the reason they paid me is to not change. Keep the same work ethic, the same, just being the same guy every day, I think is what they paid me for. So I'm going to try to do that. And, I'm obviously trying to evolve as, a vet and a leader now too. So building my skills as a leader, I think is what I've been doing through OTAs, asking Aaron about, certain things, banking things off him and whatnot.
Brandon, here's a boatload of money. Don't change.
Sounds like a plan. I think I can sign up for that.
Right. I thought that was so interesting. We talked so much about players evolving and getting better and doing things differently and scheme this and posture that and footwork here and throw that. Sean, do nothing. Don't. You know what? Just go home, read some books. Maybe look at the playbook every once in a while. But we really need you to be you. Okay? Okay.
It's good, too, I think, too, Trevor, because, if you go back to the few years Sean Ryan's been in Green Bay, he hasn't really had the consistency of being in that starting, 5 offensive linemen, right? He would go in from right guard and he would sub out and they would put in Jordan Morgan. They would be on a little bit of a rotation. I think it's cool for him to take that mentality, obviously, of not changing, but knowing he's coming into this season and he is going to be your day one center, barring injuries and whatnot and anything that is out of his control. I think that's really cool for him. I think that's really good for Jordan Love. I think it's really good for the Packers. They have to have some consistency on that offensive lineman. They did not have it a year ago, and it wasn't a very good unit overall because of the injuries and the inconsistency. So it's cool to hear Sean Ryan come in there, and now he knows there's more defined roles within this Packers team this year. There's guys that are coming in, and this goes beyond Sean Ryan, so sorry if I'm getting off the wedges here a little bit, but with Jordan Morgan knows he's going to be the left tackle, right? Christian Watson knows he's wide receiver 1. Sean Ryan, to the point of coming in and not changing, knows he's going to be the center for the Green Bay Packers. So I think that's good news when you hear that bit from Sean Ryan as the Packers wrapped up minicamp.
It really feels like this year we have a lot of knowledge and understanding of who's going to be where.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the most as we head into what is the summer break for the Green Bay Packers before they come back for training camp towards the end of July. Matt LaFleur squeaked out yesterday that he thinks off the top of his head, players report July 28th, and the first practice is July 29th. Did you see that sequence?
I did. It's also remarkable, Trevor, that just really, they say off season. There's no off season with these guys. You know what I mean? There's just baseball, I feel like, has more of an off season. Baseball has more of an off season. Football, no. You're in the draft, then okay, then you have OTAs, rookie minicamp, mandatory minicamp. Yeah, I guess in between now and summer, you get a break. But do you really? Like, if I'm going on vacation, Trevor, I'm going to overeat on vacation and overdrink. These guys can't do that. They got training camp right around the corner.
Well, and OTAs again next week,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Well, not for everyone.
Not for everyone.
Apparently, everybody else gets off except for the rookies. Can you imagine, start a new job? You're there for, let's say, 3 months, okay? And everybody else gets a random week off. We were all supposed to work next week, but you know what? The boss gave everyone off except for all you new people. You're going to need to come into work. Is that real? Is that real life? It is for the Packers next week. OTAs for the vets and everybody but rookies. Have a great week. We'll Zoom you in, see how you're doing. But for you rookies, you're going to need to stay here. So that has me thinking about, all right, we must have gotten a good look at pretty much everybody that we needed to see over the last few weeks in terms of OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Upon review, Brandon, what room do you think is the strongest going into this Green Bay Packers season? I have a thought, but I want to hear yours first.
The strongest room, I think I would have to probably go with the wide receiver room. And
Me too.
I do think, though, I will say, though, Trevor, I do have a caveat, if you don't mind. I think the linebacker room is really good for the Packers. I do.
A close second. I concur there,
it's a close second. Zaire Franklin is going to be such a bigger upgrade, I think, than Quay Walker. Not a knock on Quay Walker. Athletically, he was insane. But I think Zaire Franklin is that prove-it guy in the middle of the field. And I think that's going to unlock Edgerrin Cooper, where he's not having to think so much. Edgerrin Cooper, that is. And he can just go out and react and use his physical capability. So I think that linebacker room is going to be really good for the Packers. But when you got Watson, with the new contract, Jaden Reed with the new contract, Matthew Golden, who we saw last year, Trevor, in big moments, did step up for this Green Bay Packers team outside of Romeo Doubs in that Chicago game at Soldier Field in the wild card round. He was the next best receiver for both teams, quite frankly, in that game. So I think Matthew Golden is going to take that next step. And Savion Williams is a guy that Jordan Love has name dropped twice now during mandatory minicamp week this past week. That is a name he's looking out for, a guy to take the next step. So I think that wide receiver room for me is certainly really, really strong.
And the wide receiver room got their glue guy back in Bo Melton. No more defense for Bo. He's in the wide receiver room. I think so too. Sky Moore in there as well. Return guy, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, that seems to be the strongest heading into the season. And I don't know that we've had the ability to say that over the last few years. In regard to Jordan Love, that is a huge plus side for this Packers team as we head into summer break.
Can I add one more? I'm sorry, because now you got me thinking. The safety room, Trevor's pretty good too. Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, Xavier McKinney. Like that's probably pretty. That's in there too. Like there's some spots here where this team is that they're pretty good.
You ever eaten crow before?
I'm guessing you have to.
I do if they win the Super Bowl. Yeah. We really do look pretty put together. So, all right, let's rest up. OTAs next week for the rookies. Training camp at the end of July. Nobody do anything stupid. Don't eat no McDonald's. I know. Let us pray. We joke around on the show. Please, God. No,
just a normal month.
Why don't we all just take a break? That's it.
Go to the Wisconsin Dells.
What could go wrong?
Go to Door County. Have fun.
We've been to Noah's Ark. Good time.
Right. Literally.
All right. The Brewers are back. Moving on.
Brewers.
A 3-game set starts tonight, 6:40 against the Phillies at AmFam Field. Day off yesterday for the crew. Coming off of 13 in a row, Brandon, and we talked yesterday that was a pretty good run there for the Brewers. A lot of the games of the 13 were on the road. 9 of the 13. They had that 4-game set against San Francisco. We start this home series off again on Monday and then another 3-game set against Cleveland before they hit the road again. What are we looking for from the Brewers this weekend that we have to see to make us feel better? Because that series against the Athletics was a little yippy.
Can I just say health is right now where I'm kind of trending. When you ask, like, what do you need to see? Like, let's finish a series healthy, right? The Brewers lose Brian Fitzpatrick, likely to a season-ending elbow injury. He was the guy out of the bullpen. He was down in Nashville. The Brewers recalled him up. He was warming up, and his elbow is probably shot for this season and part of next season. Obviously, the goal for me as a Brewer fan for Trevor is always just win the series, right? Win 2 out of 3. You can't, I think it's unrealistic and you're setting yourself up for failure if you're like every series, they need to sweep. Like it's just not, it's not an easy thing to do, right? You're going to see Christopher Sanchez in this series for the Phillies. Remember, that was the guy that beat out Jacob Mizorowski for the National League Pitcher of the Month in the month of May after Miz went on a historic run in May. So for me, it's win 2 out of 3, right? Continue pace in the National League Central Division. You have obviously the Cardinals a couple of games behind you, but, maintain pace within the National League Central Division. This is a tough stretch for the Brewers. The month of, the rest of June going in really into the All-Star break is a tough stretch for the Brewers, and the way that they can maintain it is just win a series. Just win one series at a time, one game at a time. You have a great opportunity tonight. Returning back home, you were off on Thursday. Now you have Jacob Mizorowski on the mound on a Friday night. Not many better things in Wisconsin on a Friday night during the summer than American Family Field with Miz on the mound. So I think they're in a good spot, going forward.
And please, God, stay healthy.
I know it sounds crazy, but like that's just kind of where we're at. Like it feels like every week, Trevor, we're dealing with a new injury update from somebody, right? Quinn Priester now getting shut down potentially might not make his return this season. We don't really know what's going on with Brandon Woodruff. Like we went a month without Jackson Churio and Andrew Vaughn and Christian Yelich. Like let's just play baseball and not have an injury report.
What's in the water in Wisconsin? It has been one heck of a run for injuries on our teams. That got us thinking about your biggest sports injury. I mean, the professional guys that do it every day, they get injured a lot because they play every day. Likewise, we get injured a lot because we don't play it every day. 414-677-1250 coming up at the top of the hour on the Nicolay Law talk and text line, the bottom of the hour with I have questions about your biggest sports injury. Tell us the story. Give us a call. Shoot us a text. 414-677-1250. Let's stay healthy. Let's go to Madison, too.
Badgers.
The AD was supposed to start at the beginning of summer. I don't know what the meteorological start of summer is, but I feel like it's summer. Where is this person?
I think summer's technically in the third week of June. We're close. If we're being, if we're going to be specific, I believe it's like the third week of June. I could be mistaken. But
okay, different question. What's taking so long?
But they're in summer, right? Like school's out, classes are out. This is quote unquote their summer vacation. So like this is the moment of where you would assume that the AD would take over for the university. And there's a lot of questions surrounding the athletic department. I have questions coming up, but I have questions about where this Badger team, really the athletics is going in general. And time is ticking. Summer's here.
They formally launched the athletic director search a month ago today. I would like to think that a lot has been done in a month to determine who it's going to be. Hopefully, we find out maybe next week or the week after so that they can actually start to put some things in place that they need to see. And that's part of the Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump. Who wants that job? Really? I mean, if we look at it, obviously there are people who have their careers in college athletics and so on, but so much of that has changed. And we had a long conversation yesterday about what it looks like for you being a fan of sports right now. So many questions and comments yesterday about being priced out of our stadiums and the experience being better at home. But what about sports in general? College sports, the NIL. How many people, Brandon, do we talk to that go, that's professional sports now, I hate it, this and that? Where do you stand on the money in sports in general? We'll talk about that in the Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I guess we just sit and wait about the Badgers and about Giannis, too.
Bucks.
Game 5 of the NBA Finals in San Antonio tomorrow night, 3-1, is the current situation. My question, Brandon, based on what we know, and I mentioned this to Josh yesterday, we're going to find out right after the finals, right, as to what happens with Giannis?
I think so, right? Because the ownership essentially told us that, Trevor, right? They, come out and say Wes Edens and Jimmy Haslam said it's going to be the NBA draft. We're either going to give him the opportunity to give him the verbal extension, where he's going to stay here in Milwaukee with that Supermax or not. And we want answers by the NBA draft. The NBA draft is 11 days away. So you would anticipate that the Bucks are going to have some sort of answer when it comes to the future of Giannis. And if you go on any national television show, any of them, or you listen to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, I mean, that is one of the hotter topics. What are the Bucks going to do with Giannis? What does a trade package look like with Giannis? Could the Bucks get in return? Should they keep Giannis? It's not going to stop until we actually get a solidified answer that he's either staying in Milwaukee or that the Bucks are indeed going to trade him.
If you ask Chris Haynes, NBA insider reporter, it's not looking good for him to stay.
I think we're in store for a flurry. Starting with obviously Giannis. I think this is the closest he's come to saying he wants to be moved without saying he wants to be moved. Yeah. I think signs are pointing to that. The owner came out and said that, they hope to get something done, whether that's him staying or going by the draft. Yep. So that's all. That's good news to hear, just for myself, because that's something I don't have to continue to wait on for free agency. But no, I think it all boils down with him. And this game is going to have a little bit of some implications as well. Like, so if the New York Knicks were to falter to the San Antonio Spurs, they might be in play for Giannis. I don't think that'll be the case if they do win the championship. And same with the OKC Thunder. So before the Thunder went out, I mean, I think most people thought they were going to get back to the NBA Finals, but we didn't think they would be making some some wholesale changes. Yeah. And now the way that Chet finishes his playoffs off, all signs are pointing to OKC, making some moves.
Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press says as well that there's a growing belief in some corners that any trade for Giannis would include Bucks veteran Bobby Portis. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
It makes sense, right? If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, I mean, if your future is going to kind of be reset a little bit, right? Your championship window, quote unquote, is not going to be open if you decide to trade Giannis. So why would you keep Bobby Portis around? And I think his salary is, in the $15 million a year range. So yeah, I mean, it would make sense. If you're going to trade Giannis, Trevor, I've gone on record saying this, and I'll go on record again with this show saying it as well. Just gut everybody. Like, start completely over. And I know it pains Bucks fans to hear that and maybe admit that and come to grips with that. But if you're going to trade Giannis, that's what you got to do. And you got to do it the right way, right? Like, you got to get as much as you can for Giannis, if that includes putting Bobby Portis into that trade and creating some more cap flexibility and being able to, acquire maybe another draft pick or two, or maybe another player or two that you can help, build, a foundational piece within your organization, then you got to do it. Like, and I'm fine with that. Again, him and Giannis are very close. Bobby Portis, that is, it would make sense. And especially if Giannis is going to go to, I don't know, let's say the Miami Heat, because that's what everybody's talking about, Trevor. They're going to want to compete for championships, and Bobby Portis can be a part of what their championship goals will be because he's done it here in Milwaukee. So it would make a lot of sense. I love Bobby Portis. I love Giannis, but I also understand that at some point we're going to have a post Giannis and post Bobby Portis era in Milwaukee, and it just might have to be sooner rather than later.
I love the weekend. Anything else?
Anything else?
Dude, big sports weekend. Like, really cool, awesome, lot of sports weekend. Brewers, we talked about, home against the Phillies. Game 5 of the NBA Finals in San Antonio tomorrow night. Knicks lead 3-1. The Hurricanes took Game 5 against the Knights, Game 6 on Sunday, back in Vegas. Tonight, Team USA in the World Cup versus Paraguay, 8 p.m. Central in Los Angeles on Fox. And on Friday, on Sunday, the UFC fight in the White House lawn. Spectacle.
That is a packed weekend, though. I didn't realize that until just now. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Do we miss anything?
I don't think so. This is my favorite time of the year. Like, I love football season. I stress out a lot during football season, Trevor. So this is the quiet period of the NFL season, obviously, as we just talked about in the Packers part of this. But this is, Brewers back home at American Family Field. I love summer night games at American Family Field. The World Cup I'm glued to my TV for the World Cup. I'll wholeheartedly admit I'm not a soccer fan. Like I don't know players, but you throw USA on a jersey, I'll watch them do anything.
For sure. Exactly.
Quite frankly. So this is going to be fun. I think the NBA finals, I'm assuming, is it bad that I wish it ends so that I can figure out what the future of Giannis is going to be?
Nope. That's exactly where I'm at. Let's be done.
I hope the Knicks just win, right? That miracle win they had a couple nights ago. Like just get it over with, pull the Band-Aid off and rip it off. And yeah, it's a fun weekend. It's a busy schedule for me and my house and certainly with the sports schedule. So it'll be a good weekend.
And stay healthy. So when haven't you, in your amazing sports career, all of you out there across the state of Wisconsin on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, what is your biggest sports injury and how did it happen? And maybe how old were you? Because there's going to be a lot of older men with those Thursday night softball sports injuries, if you know what I'm talking about. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. It's I Have Questions when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brandon in for Josh this morning, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Happy Friday. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. In sports and in life, the right partner matters. At Capital Credit Union, they are there for you every step of the way. Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing. Text money to 79489, capitalcu.com. The question this morning, as Brandon fills in for Josh on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, what's your worst or biggest sports injury? Sports has been something we as Wisconsin sports fans have dealt with ad nauseum the last few seasons of our favorite teams. And then it has us reminiscing, all right, well, sports happen, injuries happen, and what's the biggest one that you've dealt with? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Brandon, this is top of mind. I retired from playing softball. I don't want to do it anymore. I have a blast sitting in the dugout cheering on our guys. If you make the last out in our beer league softball, you have to take one of those little awful shots that you can go and buy in a liquor. Like, it's just a great time. But I'm retired because I had a major injury, and it took me literally out. Couldn't barely work, couldn't function as a dad and a husband and a neighbor and a friend. I tore my Achilles 2 years ago this month. So I played last season, but I could not get it out of my head.
Okay, go to how did you do it? I
was running to first.
Okay.
That's it.
And you just
literally, that's it.
Explain the injury to me, because we hear it, we see it, obviously. Did you know right away? Some
Nope.
guys, you'll hear them say like, "Oh, I knew right away it was popped." What went
I
through
knew
your
right
head?
away, but yet there's so many things that happen when you have an injury like that you try to justify in your head, and you wouldn't believe how fast you can. First off, I thought I got shot. That's what it felt like. Like something hit me I had no idea what it was. Then I thought, why did he throw the softball at me?
Okay,
because that's what it felt like.
Yep.
Like I got hit in the left, like ankle area. And then I tried to step/continue to run. That didn't work, fell down, and I knew right away. I was like, but I also had this moment of like, did I just tear my hamstring off my ass like that?
I'm not laughing at you. I just the thought of it. Yeah.
Well, it's real, man. So we've all dealt with sports injuries. Maybe it was when you were a kid watching my son play football. We hold our breath every down. He's a little bit injury prone. Shut up. That has to do with me for sure. Concussed, broken bones, broken fingers. He almost ripped his ACL. He had a hyperextension of his knee. Like, these things happen, right? But when we get older, they seem to happen more often. And we watch professional guys like Christian Hansen. And, he's a little, I'm afraid to say it, to be honest, like a bit of a jinxer.
Don't even put it out there.
What injury had you had in your illustrious sports career?
Okay, so I have two that are quite embarrassing. So I'm going to share them with you because I like you.
That's the goal.
So the first one was I was in high school, and I am a very competitive person, Trevor. So it didn't matter what sport in high school, that we were playing in the class. Like, I was going 110% because I thought I was going to be a professional athlete at some point. But that obviously didn't come to fruition, unfortunately. I just talked about it now. So we were, again, it's funny because the World Cup for the Team USA starts tonight, and we were playing soccer in gym class, and I wasn't very athletic. I wasn't the most agile. I wasn't the most talented soccer player. I dislocated my kneecap in gym class playing soccer, and it was the most painful injury to date that I've had, right? And I've done other things in my life that were painful. My kneecap was to the left side. It was my left knee. It was to the left, like pointing outwards. It was in gym class. So explaining that to the emergency room on exactly what happened. I think I just turned quickly. I tried to turn quickly, but my foot was planted, and obviously that didn't work out well. So I was in a straight leg cast for, I think it was like 6 weeks. It was my senior year. It's funny too, because I had already enlisted in the Army and I was getting ready to go to boot camp. And they're like, you never had any injuries. Nope, nothing at all. And just kept moving along. And that was one of the more painful injuries that I've had. The other one that is quite embarrassing, I really wouldn't say embarrassing, but fun to at least admit. My son's birthday party was at Sky Zone. And,
okay.
And you probably know where this is going. This was probably his, I think maybe 10th, 11th birthday, whatever it was. All his friends, family. Well, me thinking I can do everything. I get on the trampoline. They had basketball hoops. I'm like, this is going to be, I'm going between the legs, 360, behind the back. Like I'm doing all the Vince Carter stuff I grew up watching. I came down and rolled my ankle very, very badly and found myself, Trevor, in the emergency room with a fractured ankle from trying to impress 10, 11-year-olds doing a dunk at Sky Zone, and was in a walking boot for 8 weeks.
Why is that a normal thing? Why do we as grown adults, men and women alike, why do we feel like we have to impress 10, 11, 12-year-olds with our athleticism? We do this parents' basketball game after each season in grade school, and the kids want me to dunk in the worst way. Dude, I'm 6'8", 3 bills. Dunking, I can do it, but there's a lot of opportunity for bad things to happen.
Coming down is not the most fun part either.
I'm most worried about going up.
Okay.
Getting this to do that again at 43 is, I can still dunk, but I'm very afraid to do it. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Here's Jeff from Fox Point. A very similar story to what we were just talking about. At a kid gymnastics birthday party, my son, Jeff, says, was having his birthday party at a local high school. I wanted to jump up on the higher up mats to watch the kids play, so I did. When I jumped, I felt a rip in my knee. It was Thanksgiving weekend, and on Thanksgiving Day, I had to go to the ER because I couldn't walk. Over the next few months, bending to get anything, working out, walking, hurt. Finally, got an MRI. Sure enough, the doc said I tore my meniscus. Jeff got surgery last summer. It was the dumbest non-contact sports injury ever.
It's not even like a real fun one to like brag about. Like you're just trying to get up on a mat. Like that's awful. And the holiday weekend, like your weekend is shot there too.
The 920 says, playing football, wrestled my whole childhood through high school. Only injury I ever got was countless undiagnosed concussions. How many? Did you ever get a concussion?
No. Thankfully, I have not. Well, that I'm aware of. Maybe.
Define concussion.
I was going to say, maybe, but no, not that I'm aware of.
I don't even remember how they diagnosed concussions when I was a kid.
I don't think it was honestly, I think it's like a newer thing, like within the last decade or so. Like when we were kids, I don't think that was really a thing, like, oh, you bumped your head or you feel dizzy. Okay, lay down. Here's an ice pack or something like that. But and for good reason, it's advanced, right? These things have advanced a little bit. So we now know we have a little bit of more research on them.
Annie in the 262 says, my son plays in a bar league softball. Last week, a kid on the opposing team slid into third base, broke both bones in his lower leg, and his foot did a 180.
Oh, my God.
Taken away via ambulance. Reiterated to my son never to slide in beer league softball. We had a guy during our game last night, Ebo, we call him, about took out a fence trying to catch a foul ball. And all of us retired older guys, and he's fairly close to us in age, we're like, dude, why? Oh, man, it was right underneath my glove. Okay. You know what's ironic is he's on our team now, but he was the guy that I hit it to when I tore my Achilles. Earlier in that same game, I had squeaked one past him, and he, obviously, little intense, quite competitive. Well, that time I ripped another one right at him off his chest. He gathers it. That's why I tried to step on it because, listen, at 41, come on. I still got it.
You do.
I can sprint.
I believe in you.
I cannot.
Nope. Now you're done.
Done. So
did you walk off I'm so curious about this injury. I apologize for going back and forth on it, but did you get up? Did you walk? Did an ambulance come? How did you get, because you mentioned, obviously with your size, 6'8", 3 bills, I don't know if anybody was carrying you off the field, right?
No, well.
Did you how did that feel after you tore it? Because we've seen different things, right? Guys can't walk. Then we see Kobe Bryant shoot 2 free throws, right? And walk to the locker room after. So I'm always curious how that injury the aftermath of that injury.
It turns out that is a very common known injury that will tell you what your level of pain tolerance is. Some guys and gals do it and don't feel it, right? You mentioned Kobe. Or we watched Dame.
Yeah.
He knew it. He sat there,
Yep.
and that was it, right? But then Tyrese Halliburton
Mm-hmm.
did his, and he was
Flailing.
beside himself, right? That was me. I went into shock. My body got clammy and sweaty. I was ghost white. It was unlike anything I've ever felt or experienced. I almost threw up. I almost fainted. It was bad, real bad. Now, I'm a bit of a baby. It hurt a lot.
I mean,
and my body just said, how about no? We don't want it. No.
And they had, I'm assuming, kind of a quick diagnosis for that because you can just kind of feel.
The team we were playing against had a physician's assistant.
Yeah. Okay.
He came up, squeezed my right one, then squeezed my left one. He goes, yep, you got to go to the hospital. Okay. So I got helped off.
Surgery right away?
Ironically, it was near the 4th of July weekend.
Oh.
I believe it was June 27th. And so I had to wait until just after the 4th of July weekend to have surgery, and then that's when the fight started. I retired not because I got injured, but because of how bad the injury was, and it took me 8 weeks after I got injured, after surgery, I got an infection and had to have a PICC line and was like couch 90% of the day that I was awake, my foot needed to be above my head. Like, it got real in a hurry.
Okay, I'm never playing softball again.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't see the value. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. A few more here. Good morning, gentlemen. My injury was nothing from the 414. I slid in to first base in baseball stupidly and broke 2 hand bones. But my sister was a gymnast doing back springs and all the things that deal with that. A compound fracture from landing on top of her arm backwards. During a meet, she almost completely lost her arm. It was that bad. See? Little injuries that we think are just going to be fine. Turns out they're not. All right, there's a bunch more. We'll gather your thoughts and share them with you next when we get back. Plus, the most electrifying sound of the day takes us down memory lane. It's a good one. And it's a remember of the Brewers and Phillies. A memory. In preview of this weekend at AmFam Field, the Phillies come to town and play the Brewers today, tomorrow, and Sunday. More of your injuries and the most electrifying sound of the day next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
And a base hit into right. That's your ball game. Jake Bauers, a walk-off single. And the night the Brewers clinch the National League Central, they walk off the Philadelphia Phillies. 2-1 the final score. What a day. What a game.
Wow. Could you come up with a better ending to this day? My goodness, these guys are something.
And that, the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. And Trevor, you got to go all the way back to September 18th of 2024. That was a walk-off hit from Jake Bauers. Again, that was clinching the National League Central Division title, although they clinched it earlier in the day because of some earlier results. But that was the first year with manager Pat Murphy at the helm. They clinched the division on September 18th, and they walk it off against the Philadelphia Phillies. The bases were loaded in the bottom of the ninth, and Jake Bauers would come up to the plate, a shot down the right field line, and the Brewers would win. And it was cool because not only did you beat the Phillies, not only did you walk it off, but they got to be able to celebrate a National League Division championship at American Family Field. The streamers were going off. The banner was on the big stage, on the big screen. So that is your most electrifying sound of the day. Good times. We didn't really know what to expect. I'll be honest with you, Trevor. I was covering the Brewers back then when Pat Murphy took over. We weren't really sure what it was going to be with Murphy and Counsell Beck, leaving and turning his back and going to Chicago. We weren't really sure where the Brewers were going to go. And it turns out they've done pretty well for themselves.
Pretty happy with where we've ended up. Yeah, thanks to Pat Murphy. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brandon Snide in for Josh this morning, talking about your worst sports injury. I don't know if you saw one that came through. I'm going to read three more, and the last one, do not turn this radio off. This is absurd.
Oh, boy. I won't
First,
look.
Here's one. Freshman or sophomore in high school from the 414, playing a pickup football game on a Sunday. I was one of my smaller buddies on a kickoff, and long story short, he came flying down on me. I tried to block him, knocked me down, tried to brace myself with my arms. We all do that. And told the guys something's not right. Had to walk home, couldn't ride my bike, ended up going to the hospital, showed up at school the next day with a cast, and all my buddies gave me crap and said, "Oh, man, you're fine." Nope, actual broken bone. All right, there's two more here. This person slipped on a cherry in Walmart. Not a sport, but just a random injury. Dislocated my knee and tore my ACL. True story.
Oh, my. On a cherry?
On a cherry.
I wonder if there was a lawsuit that ensued.
Here's another one. Tore my bicep in the middle of a college football game. Played through it because I didn't notice it. And it felt weird and painless. The next morning, though, my entire arm was bruised, black and blue. Went to a sports physician, and he told me since I tore the better of the two muscles, any surgery would be cosmetic. So they must have that hole right there that you see in a bicep. This is going to pain me to read. It's going to pain you to hear. But this is epic, and I've never heard of this in my entire life. My best friend, this is from the 920, ran track. And apparently, Brandon, your face.
I'm listening.
YouTube, Twitter. Apparently, there's a reason they tell you to wear compression shorts when running in track. Unfortunately, he did not. And about an hour and a half after his track meet, he was in extreme pain, went to the emergency room, and found out he was in what they call torsion. They had to remove one of his testicles because they ended up being tied together.
Oh, my
God. This is why we don't run in my family. We don't run. No running.
I have so many questions.
Have you never heard of that?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. They're not supposed to twist.
Oh, my goodness.
You've never heard of that?
No.
Dude, you need to tell your boys about that.
Clearly.
This is a
don't
thing.
twist them. Yeah, apparently.
No. Bad. Bad.
We'll have that discussion today because
Take a
sounds
screenshot. Screenshot the Nicolay Law talking Tesla. Boys, sit down. We got to talk about something. I am
so
sorry.
bad that it had to be. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm sorry I failed you as a father. I should have told you this a long time ago.
So bad that they have to be removed, though?
Well, I mean, it happens, apparently. Yeah, they're
oh, my goodness. I was not ready for that. I don't have full transparency. I don't have the text line open on my screen. I wanted to be surprised, but now I wish I wish I prepared myself a little bit better for that. I did not expect that one.
Well, I wasn't prepared to read it.
That might be it right there.
Pretty close to 100 texts, give or take.
Yeah.
That one wins.
You win or lose.
And frankly, whoa, that happened. Here's another one. Jeez, this happens to more 414. A twisted testicle happened to someone at my high school too. Same situation at a track meet. And after all of these, the 310 says, I'm never playing sports again.
Yes.
Just going to casually walk from now on. And that's why I was in charge of the little shots last night at softball and nothing else. I've even said, fine, I'll play if if you guys absolutely need me, I'll throw my glove and my cleats or whatever in my truck. No, that's not where they are. I frankly I told my kids to hide them. I don't want to play.
I'm afraid to do anything now. I'm just going to go home today and just sit on my couch.
I certainly would be careful how you walk and run unless you're wearing compression shorts. Good God. All right, we had a long conversation to finish out the show yesterday. So coming up next in the Lot Meets Morning Mind Dump, has sports priced you out? And we're not talking about tickets now. We're talking about the money in sports. Where do you stand on athletics as a whole? Hard to watch. A lot of people can't handle what's going on in college. We'll talk about it next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
So the Packers have signed Christian Watson to her extension.
He's got a touchdown.
Green Bay Packers all the way in on Christian.
Watson there, touchdown. Yes.
I think he's going to be a really good player.
Christian Watson makes a move. Touchdown, Green Bay.
This is what I dreamed of doing all my life.
Watson cutting left to the house for the touchdown.
Outstanding opportunity for me. It's finally, getting able to come out here and do it and start working. I'm really excited.
Oh, sensational touchdown. That's Christian Watson. How did he catch that?
This is unbelievable.
That was the big story from the last few weeks. $110 million for Christian Watson, audio courtesy of the Packers. And that's the conversation that we're going to start hour 2 with here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brandon Snide in for Josh this morning. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And we want to know, where do you stand with money in sports? We talked yesterday that sports has priced out some fans. Brandon mentioned this to me off air. We'll talk about it here in this segment about how expensive it is to go to sporting events. And we talked yesterday on how amazing the experience is to watch sporting events from home. Well, where do we stand on sports and money in general? That is something that we're going to need to get off our chest and out of our head on a Friday with whatever else you need to not carry with you into the weekend. We're a safe place. Go ahead and mind dump it on us. Time for the Malott Meats Morning Mind Dump.
I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
The coffee has kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit wisconsinmeatmarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The power of the family meal for Father's Day is not far away. So today, head to wisconsinmeatmarket.com and grab a ribeye or 2 or 5 or 10 and have the family meal on Father's Day that Dad will love. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit wisconsinmeatmarket.com and experience the power of that family meal with Malott Meats. Is the ribeye the steak of choice for you, Mr. Snide?
Oh, I'm not picky with steak whatsoever, but yes,
no?
I'll take if 3 or 4 right away.
Okay. Wow. Big on the protein.
I love it.
Do you love money in sports? Yesterday, it was announced that Patrick Mahomes signed a new contract worth reportedly $504.75 million. About $64 million per year from 2026 through 2023, which is when Mr. Mahomes will be 38 years old after the 2033 season. $64 million per year. And we talked yesterday on how expensive it is to go to professional sporting events and how the trust club in the trust section has some people pretty riled up that it's just another way that these organizations are pricing fans out of the stadiums. But what about your opinion on sports and money in general and the money in sports, whether it's professional sports at the NFL or Brewers level, or the Bucks level and the supermax that keeps being thrown around for Giannis? Or if we now look at college athletics, the college amateur athlete is dead and money is being thrown around at crazy levels in college everything. So where do we stand as fans on the money in sports? personally speaking, when we saw Christian Watson and Jaden Reed sign their deals this past offseason, Watson, the most recent one, at $110 million, my eyes go immediately to the signing bonus. How much did they just cut a check? I don't know how this works. Do they cut him a check? Is it a direct deposit? How do you obtain $30 million? Or in Patrick Mahomes' case, did you see this? His signing bonus, did you see? $55 million. How does that work? Wow. How? Does somebody have any knowledge? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Where do you stand on money in sports in general? And does anybody know how they transfer $55 million when it's a signing bonus? How does that work? Is it in? It can't be in cash. Is it a check?
It's got to be direct
wire?
Deposit. It's got to be.
But
I don't know though with that amount.
I don't know how much you can hold in one account.
Right.
Does anybody, Capital Credit Union, anybody listening? My friends over there, like, how does this work? Is it one account? Do you have to split it up into 5 accounts? This is something I will never have to worry about.
No.
Although, if I ever win the lottery, my buddy Chad says this. If I ever win the lottery, I'm not telling a soul, but there will be signs. And the first sign is I won't be here. Yeah. The second sign is how many accounts do I need to hold the money? Like, that's what I don't understand. So, but yet we sit here as reasonable people and go, the highest paid people in our country, and frankly, the world most likely, are professional athletes or athletes in general. Are we cool with this? I said a while back, Brandon, that I didn't think the professional level of sports was a long-term sustainable model. And when you see a guy like Patrick Mahomes sign a $500 million contract, the average person goes, this is stupid. How do you feel?
And that's just the contract, right? Like that's just the on the field contract, Trevor. There's endorsements off the field as well. Like this is, to your point, like that's just one piece of the pie, right? Like it's just what it is. It's been trending in this direction, right? Like the NFL salary cap every year has gone up and up and up and up. We're not far from the days, Trevor, where guys are going to be making $100 million a year. Like you and I are going to see that day happen. And it does push a lot of the average fan out the door where they're like, these people make too much money. I have no interest in watching these millionaires, some billionaires or some will be billionaires, play a child's game out on a field while we're working 8, 9, 10 hours and struggling to make ends meet, week in and week out. So it is going to, and I know people that have gotten to that point where it's like, I've had enough. Like I'm done putting my own money, right? Because you got to now pay, right? The NFL now makes you subscribe to 8 different channels in order to watch these millionaires play the game. So you have to pay out of your own pocket to watch the millionaires play so you can help pay their salaries. So it has really kind of pushed the average fan out. I kind of knew the writing was on the wall. Like you could just kind of see it. I remember like when it was in the NFL, this guy makes $20 million. Holy smokes. Like,
right. The Packers offered Brett Favre $20 million a year to stay away. Remember that?
Exactly. And now it's like, it's only 20. Now we're desensitized to it, Trevor, because you look at the Christian Watson contract. You bring up an excellent point. You look at the guaranteed money. It's the first thing everybody looks at. Oh, it's only $31 million guaranteed. All right. That's not bad. Like, wait, what?
$31 million.
I'll take $30. Like, wait, what? Like that? Like, so we've kind of desensitized ourselves to it because it's become the norm, right? And we're seeing it. And honestly, that's not even where the most money is. Like the international soccer world, it's not something I'm familiar with, so I don't want to speak too much on it. They make twice as much as these guys make in the NFL and Major League Baseball and the National Basketball Association. Like it's even more out in the other parts of the world when it comes to soccer. But it's going to get to the point, I think, where you'll have your diehards, right? You and I will still watch the games, because we love it. We cover them. This is what we do. This is our life. But the average fan, they are going to start pushing out if they haven't already. Certainly when it comes to Major League Baseball has issues with their television broadcast. Heck, the NBA has issues. The Bucks and FanDuel are an ongoing issue, right? And how people watch those games. The NFL is kind of trending in that direction. I got to have a Netflix. I got to have a Paramount Plus. I got to have Amazon Prime. I got to have CBS, Fox, ESPN, all these things. Like, no thanks. I'm going to be good. And it's going to take away, I think, from the average fan to tune into the game. They'll still have their diehard fans, no doubt about it. But at what point is it too much? That's the question I want to know. Like, at what point is this just like, okay, like this is insane, right? Like this is crazy that we're making, or that you're making 60, 70, probably closer to $100 million in the next decade. Like at what point does it just become too much? That's the question I would propose.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Where do you stand on money in sports? What do you got to get off your chest and out of your head this morning in the Malat Meats morning mind dump? The first one that came through was from the 920, and it said, sports have definitely priced me out. A $500 million contract. I remember as a kid having a sport magazine cover with Reggie Jackson being the first $100,000 athlete in 1974. Ooh. That's not that long ago.
No.
Look where we have come. The 920 says supply and demand. Those that say athletes are paid too much simply do not understand the value that those athletes bring to the community. Yesterday, we were talking about how economic impact works a little bit in terms of the sports teams and using public funding and the trust club. And somebody texted in and said, if you think sports has an economic impact, you have no idea how economic works. What? That is the exact opposite of what I've experienced living here in Brown County.
I was going to say,
10 minutes away from Lambeau Field.
I was going to say, I think it's the complete opposite there.
Justin from Port Washington says crazy amounts of money in sports has always been irritating, but not really sure what anybody can do. It is what it friggin' is, he says.
Unfortunately, I agree with it because I don't know where it's just going to keep going up. Nothing's going to change. They're not going to pull money away from these guys, right? Like Major League Baseball might implement a salary cap. That might hinder their contracts a little bit, but they'll find a way around it like Mahomes has done. The NFL has a salary cap as well. And obviously he's found a way to be able to make what he makes and deferred money and whatnot. So they'll still make their money. But to Justin's point, I also agree. Like I don't know what we're going to do that's going to change it.
B. Hintage in West Allis chimes in on the Nicolay Law talk and text line. The number, save it, 414-677-1250. Hi, guys. Longtime sports fan here, says B. Hintage. Yeah, it does bother me in regard to money in sports. It's getting out of hand. Can I really swallow the prices at stadiums and play the fan game while salaries like this are being paid? And now college players get paid before doing anything? B. Hinchage says, can't do it, man. I'm becoming more and more disconnected from sports as the values become further away from what I was shown by athletes in the past. And goes on to say our country's suffering, all stemming from not having enough. Look around and realize all too much. It really is too much. I'm out. I'm going fishing, which isn't cheap either, by the way.
I'd fish with you. That's a great text because that brings up two points that I would like to make is that college football or college sports, I should say, I've said it before on 9 to noon. It's ruined. Like it's trash to me. Like I will watch the Badgers. I'll watch UWGB. I'll watch UWM, Marquette, and all the programs in the state, and I'll root for them. But there is a part of college sports that died when they inserted NIL into their programs. Like, and I get it. That's the way that was going. But now it's essentially amateur sports, right? Or pro sports for that matter, because some of them make more money in college than they do in the professional ranks. So it has ruined, money has ruined for me. Again, just for me, I'm not telling anybody how to fan. It has ruined college sports for me because we would watch these teams, Trevor, and you would see the actual love of the game. Like a lot of fans would be like, I like college better than the NFL or Major League Baseball or the NBA because these guys actually care. They're not making millions of dollars. They're going out there and they're actually putting everything on the line in order to be able to have that one big payday, hopefully down the line. But that's not the case anymore. These kids are getting paid in high school, Trevor, in most states now. So now you're even taking away into the the under 18 realm of sports, where the youth sports era is now being impacted by money. So it's not just pro sports. It's not just college. You're now seeing youth sports be impacted when these kids are being paid before they turn 18, before they graduate school. So for me, college sports has been ruined because of the NIL inserting all the money and all the millions of dollars into that. And then the second point that B. Hintage also brought up, like, I can't go to a game with my family more than maybe once or twice a year. Like, the most affordable professional team that I can go to is the Brewers. The Bucks have completely priced out their average fans. The Packers have, first off, it's really hard to find tickets, but it's also very expensive to buy those tickets. And it's not only getting the tickets, and I know I'm an anomaly because I have 5 children, but it is what it is. If I go to a Brewers game, let's just use the Brewers, for example, it's going to cost $300 to $400 to walk in the door. It is going to cost $300 to $400 for everybody, not necessarily to eat a big meal, but to just have popcorn, ice cream, a little snack, nachos, whatever. It's going to, you're talking almost $1,000 for an average fan to walk through the gates at one of these games. That's the problem. That's the problem I have.
Yeah, Katie from Luxembourg is right there, only she has a family of 3. She says, I'm not going to a Packer game with a family of 3 where I have to pay $700 for tickets alone, and forget the beer and food prices.
Correct.
Then Jeff from Luxembourg goes on to say, that's her husband, I'll leave Katie and Mikey at home and just go myself. No, that's not what he said. He said, if players are getting this sort of money now, can you imagine how much money the owners are making? I think the NFL can make plenty of money without Prime and Peacock and Netflix in the mix. I hate the streaming stuff more than the contracts. That was part of our notes. So now here we go, and Brandon mentioned it earlier. Not only is it crazy expensive to go to the games, but now it's crazy expensive to be able to watch the games. Look at the Packers' schedule this year alone. How many, especially on what we would call the primetime dates, are on a different streaming subscription platform? Blah.
But that's the problem. Is like, if you want to pay these players, like, come on, man, make it accessible for fans in order to watch your game and take in your product. Because if fans are looking at you shelling out millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, a texter pointed out the Juan Soto contract, the $765 million. That's a great text. Okay, fine, but then Trevor, make it easy. Why do I have to buy a monthly subscription to watch the Brewers? Why do I have to buy a subscription for a Christmas game when I'm around, more than likely, with family, in order to watch the Packers take on the Bears at Soldier Field? Like, why am I buying a subscription in order to watch these teams play when these guys are making all this money? It's a bad look. It really is.
A lot of text messages on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 414-677-1250. This is an interesting one from the 608. Every generation goes through this with sports. Every generation has their reactions to the newest contracts every single year. Why do we keep having the same debate? Athletes will always be paid grotesque numbers, just like actresses, singers, and politicians. Okay, pause. Some of those other businesses that this person mentioned have not been able to sustain the amount of money that goes into it. Look at the movies and the way they used to make movies and how often they used to make movies, and how often all of us would sprint to the movie theater because we didn't have Netflix. Remember the old Blockbuster Video? Dude, I got to watch one movie a week, maybe. And if you listen to this program, the amount of movies I've watched is quite appalling to some. But that is a business that has changed. And I don't necessarily think that model has been able to sustain where it was. And my fear in watching sports and the amount of money, and others are saying, imagine how much money the owners are making if they, the Chiefs, did the math and are able to pay Patrick Mahomes $65 million a year. Do you know how much money they're going to make off of that? That's crazy.
That's insane.
All right. It's a Top 5 Friday. Speaking of going to games, so let's say money was no option. Where are you going to watch your favorite team play? We picked 5. Maybe you pick 1 or 2. Money's no option, and the Brewers are here, or the Bucks are playing there, or the Packers are in this game at this place. You have all the money you would need to go and have an incredible time. Where are you going? We'll share our 5. You share yours. Brandon's got some too. When we come back, it's a Top 5 Friday on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network just got bigger. Welcome to the city of Madison. You can now listen to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network in Madtown on 94.9 HD2. Your favorite local shows each weekday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., plus the best in Brewers coverage and the leadoff show and the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. Keep it tuned in Madison to 94.9 HD2 when you're listening here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Trevor Thomas, Brandon Snide in for Josh Albrecht this morning on Inside Wisconsin Sports on a Top 5 Friday. The top 5 places you want to go and watch your favorite Wisconsin team play if money was no option. So we just got done talking about how so much of this we've been priced out of, and how often yesterday we mentioned the experience is frankly better at home. We got a text just now on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Morning, we're good. We got a flat screen and a grill on our patio. I'm not going to spend another $300 to $500 to go to the Packers-Bucks game here in Florida. Have a great weekend, boys. Okay.
Fair.
It's hard to combat that, right? But let's just say you have the extra $300 to $500. Is that where you would want to go and see your favorite team? The Packers at the Bucks this year is a good example. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Brandon, what's your list?
So I'm going to start with number 5. I'm going to work my way down.
That's the way to do it.
If that works for you, Trevor. So number 5, you'll like this one because we talked about this. See how good your memory is. Your Achilles might not be so great, but we'll see how good your memory is. A mid-October, has to be mid-October, has to be a Saturday night game, preferably against a Big Ten opponent, Minnesota, an Axe game, at Camp Randall. Because I've never been to Camp Randall.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So I want to go to Camp Randall and watch the Wisconsin Badgers take on, ideally, the Minnesota Gophers, just because the Axe game, the rivalry, would be really cool.
That one's always the last game of the season, though.
Yeah, that's why mid-October wouldn't really necessarily work, but that gets a little cold, though, when you get into November. I know. Number 4 for me, because of the NBA Finals and because of how insane that crowd is, ideally, I would like to say I would hope it'd be the Eastern Conference Finals, but I would love to see the Milwaukee Bucks take on the New York Knicks if both teams are good, preferably, again, in a late playoff push into the summer at Madison Square Garden, because that place looks insane to watch a basketball game. You hear a lot of people. John Kuhn actually talked about it yesterday on 9 to noon, said it was the best place he's watched a basketball game. I would love to go to Madison Square Garden, and obviously the NBA Finals being there has put that on a pedestal, so I think that would be a really cool spot. Number 3 for me, the Milwaukee Brewers at Fenway, preferably a World Series. There's something about historic venues, Trevor, for me that is really cool. I really like New York, the Yankee Stadium. Before they redid it would have been really cool. So I like the historic. I think we're spoiled, obviously, when you get Lambeau Field and those places like that. So,
would you sit on the Green Monster?
I would. I think that would be. I think that would.
I've got some buddies that went out there and watched the Brewers play there a few years ago. Required to sit on top of the Green Monster.
Yeah, I think that would be real. And it's an uncommon opponent, right? You don't get to play the Red Sox all the time. Number 2 for me, and I thought this was going to happen this year. I really thought this was going to happen. I'm going to sound like I'm talking on both sides of the mouth, and that's fine here.
That's what we do in sports
radio. I
don't
don't like international football games for scheduling purposes, but sign me up for Packers in Munich. Like that would be in Germany. Cool. I was stationed in Germany once upon a time in a previous life. That is a really cool place. They are insane. They love the Green Bay Packers in Germany. That would be a place that I would love to go watch the Green Bay Packers play. I think really any international game, quite frankly, but I think Germany would be really, really cool.
That's a good one.
To check out the Packers. And I mentioned the historic venues. There's a caveat to this one. And I know this isn't, I'm being unrealistic with this, Trevor, but I apologize in advance. The Brewers at Wrigley Field, but you got to guarantee me that the Brewers are going to win, because I could not go to Wrigley Field. And because I've never watched it. I've been to a concert at Wrigley Field. I've never been to a baseball game at Wrigley Field, but it's another one of those historic stadiums that I would love to check off my list. Obviously, Lambeau Field's in that conversation, Fenway Park, and Wrigley Field has to be in that conversation as well. I would love to go watch the Milwaukee Brewers take on the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field, but you got to guarantee me that the Brewers are going to win. I know you can't do that, but I want you to be able to do that, because I wouldn't be able to stand walking out of that stadium if the Brewers did lose that game.
Good list.
I think
Really?
so. It's number 5. It's the Badgers. Like a lot of people have been to Camp Randall. I got to get there.
You and I share one, and this is going to surprise the audience because if you've listened to our show, you know that I'm not a huge NBA guy. And you and I share that Madison Square Garden thing. My number 5 first is Phoenix anywhere in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, we have a big connection here in Green Bay with the Green Bay Phoenix. Doug Gottlieb comes on the show every Wednesday. I'm a Phoenix super fan. Ask me to name the players other than the ones that were coming back from last year. I can't. We don't know who they are right now. But that's kind of the fun of it. That's the fun we've had to make of it, frankly, when you are a fan of a team that turns over like the Phoenix are. But if they were to make the NCAA tournament and money was no option, wherever they are, I will be. Now, pause. Business expense. So if the Phoenix end up in the NCAA tournament, I most likely will be there, just not on my own dime. Number 4, Bucks at Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big NBA guy. Okay. I remember the Bucks and the fun I had when I was a kid. And I remember how fun it was to watch the NBA in the 90s. Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley. I mean, the old era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, seeing the NBA playoffs, the NBA finals at Madison Square Garden, I said it earlier this week, dude, that brought me back. And so if we could go and watch the Bucks at the Knicks at the Madison Square Garden, I just think that would be incredible. Playoffs, cool, but just get me there. Number 3, Badgers at Lambeau Field. So we know Notre Dame's coming, Labor Day weekend, right?
Good one.
I did not go to LSU when the Badgers played here against them, and that was a miss. So I really hope some way, somehow, I stumble upon some ticket, singular or plural, for a reasonable amount of money, doubtful, and I'm able to go watch Badgers against Notre Dame at Lambeau in September.
That's a great one. That's a really good one.
Number 2, big fans of Las Vegas. I was super jealous, and I can't wait to talk to Tim Allen about this at the top of the hour. Super jealous that he was there in Las Vegas for the home run-a-thon that was at the Las Vegas ballpark.
The home run derby?
Yeah, pretty much, when the Brewers played the A's. But have you looked at the new stadium they're building? Oh,
I mean, their football stadium, what they did with that was a whole nother
it's
thing.
incredible. I've been there.
Yeah.
Gratefully, when it was Packers-Raiders. Packers lost, by the way. And in case you're wondering, when you lose the bet that you made on that game and you leave the stadium in a bit of a mood, and then you go to the roulette table and think you're going to make it all back, it doesn't work out.
Angry
It's
betting.
not how that works.
Was it the Monday night game you went? Was that? Yeah, okay. Yep. That was a good game, at least. I mean, yeah, the outcome was not great, but
bad day.
Yeah.
Roulette sucks.
But then you just find a bar in the casino and you forget about the game.
We forgot about it, all right. But I can't wait to someday go and watch the Brewers play at that new stadium in Las Vegas.
It's gonna be cool.
We were looking up with some friends the other night where they're building it and where the old Tropicana was, and down on the end of the strip by where New York is, and the MGM and the Excalibur is down there. Obviously, it's on the way towards Mandalay Bay and where the stadium is, Allegiant Stadium for the Raiders. That's going to be a really fun deal when it's all said and done. Is that ready for next season?
2028.
Not next season.
Correct. Yep. Correct.
Where are the A's going to play next year?
I think that's a good question. I wonder if it's the same thing. It could.
God, I hope it's not at that state. Can you imagine all of their games being at that Little League park they just got done playing at?
Man,
that would really suck.
I was stressed out during that series. I can't wait to hear what Tim thinks. I was stressed out. Not every fly ball felt like a home run.
You weren't sure,
like even the call. Your buddy Jeff Levering, in game 1, they're like, it's a pop out to right field, and it kept going and going and going, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Number 1 for me, and I'm not sure if you've ever been, but I've been to Seattle for a Seahawks game. It was not a Packer game, though, yet that stadium was incredible, and Seattle as a whole was just really cool. I would love to go watch the Packers play at Seattle. I just think that would be a really cool experience. I've been to Seattle. I've been to Wrigley. I've been to the Big House. I have been to an NCAA tournament game at the Bradley Center. These are all places just over the last 20 years that we've been blessed to be able to go to. But if I was able to handpick some of these games, that's where I would go. And my number one, with a close second with that Las Vegas stadium, would be Seattle. You should just go experience the 12th man.
Yeah, it's loud. Really loud.
Really stupid loud.
Did you go to Wrigley for a Brewers game, or was it
but I was on one of those Brewer buses.
Okay.
And I was a lot younger, and it was something.
I believe in. I'm sure not many fans were probably messing with you a ton.
Mm-mm.
But what was your thoughts on it? Because I've heard mixed reviews, and it's not just from Brewers fans. Like, where Wrigley is cool, like the Wrigleyville area is really cool, and they've kind of built that up. I saw Post Malone there last summer. But in a game, they said it kind of just depends on where you sit. You know, if you're sitting back, within the stadium, it can be sometimes hard to see. We get spoiled, I feel like, at American Family Field, because I truly don't think there's a bad seat at American Family Field. But I've heard kind of mixed reviews on Wrigley. Did you guys have good seats when you were there?
Well, on this show, we don't call it Wrigley. We call it the dump.
Well, there's
and
that.
we call it the dump for a reason, because it's a dump. Now, I was there moons ago, and I think they've put a decent amount of money into remodeling the stadium and bringing it back to life, just like Lambeau Field over the years.
Yep.
So I have not been there to experience that, but the one time I was there, brutal.
That's what I've kind of heard. For me, it's just the historic thing, right? Like, because I love history. I appreciate the history. So being able to go to a stadium that's as old as Wrigley and as old as Fenway, we're spoiled in Wisconsin because we have Lambeau Field. It's in your backyard. It's an hour and a half away from my backyard. And it's tough. Like, where would you want to watch a Packer game? Well, anywhere. Lambeau Field's number one, though, because it's Lambeau Field. Like, it's always going to be up there. But these are good. Seattle would be another one, kind of like Wrigley. Like, you got to guarantee me the Packers are going to walk out of there with a win, because it could get a little rowdy if it's not that case.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. On a Top 5 Friday on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brandon in for Josh this morning. What are the top 5 places, if money was no option, that you would want to go and watch your favorite Wisconsin sports team play? We've got a bunch to share with you, and more coming in as we speak. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Inside Wisconsin Sports is live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. A Top 5 Friday on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brandon Snide in for Josh this morning. Getting to your lists, the top 5 spots that you want to go and watch one of your favorite Wisconsin teams play if money was no option. We've had a lot of conversations about money in sports the last few days, so let's not worry about money for a hot second and just dream as to where we're going to watch some games. From the 414, number 5, a Badger college football playoff game would be nice. Pause. That would be nice in general.
I'll take a winning season.
Yeah, let's start there. Can't ask for too much at once.
Or
that would be cool.
Or an athletic director.
Or chancellor. Where do we start? Number 4, although it doesn't involve a Wisconsin team, a Premier League soccer game in London. I actually went to the soccer game that happened at Lambeau Field.
Mm-hmm.
Even God himself didn't want soccer to be played at Lambeau. The lightning delays were aplenty. I think they only played one period. I don't even know. It was brutal.
When was that? I don't even remember that. Was that recently?
Yeah, within the last 4 years.
Okay.
Number 3, Brewers away game, preferably somewhere I haven't been. That's the goal. Number 2, the Packers in the Super Bowl. Tell me more. And number 1, a Packers international game, like you said. Munich would be really great. I would love to go to Germany.
Oh, the food, the beer, like the environment, it's incredible.
Zach in Green Bay doubles down on watching the Badgers go play in the Rose Bowl. Would be really cool. Give me the Iron Bowl, says the 608.
Oh, okay.
Scotty Tiffany, any Packers game played in Europe. The crowd seems electric, and there are a variety of fans for different teams. When I lived out of state, Tiffany says, the best part of watching Packer games at a local bar was all of the different fans from all over the country. I think the European games have the same type of fan energy. Have you ever watched a Packer game in a different city at a bar?
I have. Yeah, I have.
Where were you?
I was, all over the place. So Denver, I used to live in Colorado, North Carolina, Fayetteville, and then in Savannah, Georgia, which there's also another Packer bar down there. And it's interesting because usually when you come to those places, it's a melting pot, right? You walk into a bar and you'll find a jersey or two, sometimes more. Certainly in Denver, there's a Packer bar. So there was obviously a lot of Packer fans. But you'll just have a bunch of different fans in there, and you're not really sure what everybody's cheering for. You'll be watching your game. Nothing will be happening in your game, and then you'll hear a large noise, a large cheer, and then you just kind of look around like, what's going on? What's happening? And you see certain fans celebrating. It's a really cool environment.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. I think that's going to be a topic next week. What bar have you watched a Packer game in an away city? Pretty fun. I've got a bunch too. We'll save that one for Monday or Tuesday. Back to the talking text line. The 920. Packers at Tampa. Packers at Miami. Packers at Jacksonville. All in December and January, preferably.
I was going to say, in early, like September, October, you might need to,
Yeah, 2 words, snowbird.
Yeah, that's cool, though. I like that one, but I like those games at Lambeau.
The Brewers at KC, Kauffman is my favorite stadium, according to the 920. Marquette at St. John's at the Madison Square Garden. Good list.
That's good.
Here's Bob. This is good. Bob, Minneapolis. How about the Packers beating the Bears in Indiana? Can we go to that? Well played, Bob. Well played.
Bob's my guy.
The 414, in no particular order for the Brewers. Number 5, sitting on the Green Monster at Fenway. Number 2, 5-2. No, that was 1. This person did them backwards. 1, sitting on the Green Monster at Fenway. 2, staying in and watching a game at the hotel in Toronto. Why? 3, second deck, first baseline at Coors for the sunset. Number 4, the seats almost on the field behind the plate at the Diamondbacks. And number 5, another NASCAR track baseball game.
Ooh,
like Bristol had one last year.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That's a good call.
To the texter's point in the 414, Trevor, if you haven't been to Coors for a sunset game, there's nothing like it. It is incredible. When the Brewers were out there, they did a couple of their get backs from the television broadcast. They were showing it with the sun setting behind the mountains. Coors Field is amazing. It's a really cool field.
That's exactly where this idea came from, because some close friends of ours were just out there last weekend for that series.
Yeah.
And I had the FOMO. Bad.
It's cool because Coors Field is built right into downtown Denver. Like, so parking can kind of be a little bit of a pain. Traffic, that's anywhere though, in any big city with a big arena. But it is a really cool spot. And you can just walk from a bar right across the street and go into to the stadium. And I know Wrigley Field is sort of like that as well, but Coors Field, the sunset and the mountains in the background, is really cool.
Jeff from Luxembourg, UWGB in the tournament, preferably at Madison Square Garden. Well, okay, Jeff. 2 birds, 1 stone. Sure. Brewers at Wrigley. Been there. You do need to do it once. Sucks.
I got to do it when the Brewers are really good and the Cubs are really bad. I can't have both teams be good. The anxiety will take over.
Jeff says Brewers at Fenway, then Packers at Buffalo. Pause. The new stadium is going to be insanely cool in Buffalo. The old stadium was the loudest stadium I've ever been in. Wasn't there for a Packers game. And you have to make sure you take a trip to Niagara Falls if that's what you're going to do.
100%.
And then Packers at Las Vegas. Jeff said he passed the first time around and regrets it. Well, I was there. I regret going. Not because I didn't have fun, because Las Vegas is fun, but because they lost. And I tried to gamble my way into happiness, and that doesn't work.
And we lost again. Was there good seats there, like in that stadium? Because it's so massive.
I'm sure there were good seats. Yeah. I'm sure there were. I did not have them. I sat at the top of that stadium, literally 3 or 4 rows from the top. And I also did the same thing when we went and saw the Packers play in Dallas last year, 3 or 4 rows from the top. People yesterday, Trevor sounds like he's got a lot of money. Nope. The worst seats. I'll take those, please. Thank you. All right, Badger basketball at Cameron Indoor. That'd be incredible, says the 920. The 414, a Brewers versus Cubs game at the Dump. Brewers versus the Red Sox at Fenway. And this person lives in the middle of Tennessee. So I'm not a fan of either team, but the Iron Bowl or something along those lines, the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, those are good games. Concur. They were good games for the Brewers in Las Vegas against the A's. Not great games, but it was a good road trip. And our Brewers insider, our one and only Tim Allen, was there in Vegas. Can't wait to get his take on that ballpark and those home runs and just what his thoughts are as the Phillies come to town. And it's kind of a stretch here for the Brewers that we got to pay attention to. Phillies, Cleveland, Atlanta. Atlanta's 8 games up on the Phillies in their division. We'll talk to Timmy next. Don't go anywhere. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Time for your fan weather update brought to you by Habish, and Rotier. Abundant sunshine today, a high near 80 degrees. Tonight, a few passing clouds, a low of 65. It is currently 63 degrees in Milwaukee.
And a base hit into right. That's your ball game. Jake Bauers, a walk-off single. And the night the Brewers clinch the National League Central, they walk off the Philadelphia Phillies. 2-1 the final score. What a day. What a game.
Wow. Could you come up with a better ending to this day? My goodness, these guys are something.
Brandon, if only we knew at that moment what the next few years of Brewers that is. In 2024, when the Brewers walked off the Phillies on the day that they clinched the Central Division under Pat Murphy for the first time. Audio courtesy of Valley Sports?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Hey, what's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Hour 3, Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, normally Josh Albrecht. Today, Brandon Snide in for Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Joining us now, as he does pretty much every Monday and Friday, unless he's playing in Vegas like he was this past Monday, our guy, Tim Allen, on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. First things first, is your wallet fat from being in Vegas?
It's no, it does just fine.
Okay.
It's losing is not an option. So
teach me your ways, oh wise one.
Yeah, no, it was a good trip, and 86th trip to Las Vegas. So I got 14 more to hit that 100 mark.
Do you go to the same spots, Tim? Is it like, you're now a an everyday guy there? They know you by name, every year you're there. Is it different spots?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I try and stay. Yeah. But some of the prices have just gotten so out of control. At the biggies, Wynn and Bellagio prices won't come down, and those higher end type of places. But I try to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, I've got my regular haunts. It's some people would say it's rather pathetic when bartenders in Vegas know your name, but it's fun. I just make it fun. And the thing about this one was, the Brewers have played in Las Vegas before, but obviously not regular season. So when it was announced that the Brewers were going to be in Las Vegas as a regular season schedule, I mean, come on, guys, you had Brewers, Vegas, and me. You had to put that trifecta together, and it was fun. It was awesome.
It was a trifecta of games in Las Vegas, too, 3 in a row there at that ballpark that apparently was a Little League field. And the Brewers didn't get the memo that losing wasn't an option. So as we come home now and play the Phillies this weekend, will you help us reset and just calm our nerves? Because what was that?
Well, I got on the plane late last night, and obviously coming back into Mitchell. And I just, as I'm walking down the aisle, I just said, Hey guys, this just in: the A's just hit 2 more homers, and everyone laughed. But I think Game 3, that was the tough one. That may have been the toughest loss of the year, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big one. You had things in hand. You had things dialed in, and I know Tommy touched on this on the post-game show, but I mean, Chad Patrick, that was what, 3 out of 4 games. Was Sproat with a low pitch count, and with the flux of what's going on with the pitching. I mean, you had Coleman Crow in high leverage in this series. That tells you that you probably should have pushed Sproat just a little bit longer there. And span of what was it, 8 pitches? It was 8 pitches when Patrick came in. Boom, the Brewers were trailing. They're up 3-1, and 3 batters later on 8 pitches, then it's the A's with the lead, and that was the tough one for me. It was really tough. But that Monday game, that was one of the wildest games ever. And whether it was in Las Vegas or on the moon, that was just a wild game. And it was festive too. I mean, it was that first game, the first regular season game in Las Vegas. And just being at that ballpark and being involved in that. And, I didn't go there to work, obviously. So I was just kind of talking to folks, and I was really impressed with how many Brewer fans were in that ballpark and how many Brewer fans were in Las Vegas. Everywhere you went, you saw some Brewer stuff. It was really weird to see that. And, you're walking through, down the strip at Flamingo or Harrah's or whatever, and it's always "Go Brewers!" Everyone, "Hey Tim, go Brewers!" It was awesome. It was really, really cool.
Tim, you talked about Brandon Sproat. There were 68 pitches thrown, 6 innings of work. I think it's the best start because of his season so far, because quite frankly, it's the best start out of any of these 2 teams in those 3 games in that wild ballpark. We saw Aaron Ashby get shelled. We saw Kyle Harrison get shelled. Tim, you mentioned game 1, but obviously Brandon Sproat is lights out. I don't know what to take from this series. I don't know what's real, Tim, if the Brewers' power numbers were real in this series, right? Jackson Trio, his exit velo on a home run in game 3 was 95 miles an hour off the bat to right field. When you look at this series, what can you realistically take away from it, knowing Kyle Harrison was a Cy Young candidate? He gives up the most runs he's given up in a start in a Brewers uniform this season. And then on the other side, Brandon Sproat has the best game he's had all year. I don't know what's real, Tim, and what's not real from this series out there.
Well, you could take a little of both out of it, but I think overall, just the spectacle of it, you can't read a lot into it. That's the way I'm looking at it, guys, is that I'm not going to read a ton into it. And the one thing I guess I can read is that, and the team unity and togetherness and the fight. And I know that sounds, a lot of people accuse that of being a loser mentality there, but this team is together. They truly are together. And that highlight you guys played on the intro there, that's a Murph team. That's a playing together and never giving up and things like that. It's pretty impressive. I would take that away. And on the good side, you mentioned that Brandon Sproat. Look at the 2 starts subsequent to his meltdown in Houston, where Murph really kind of got into him and on him, and Sproat did not sound well mentally after that game in Houston. But look at his 2 starts afterwards. The start in Colorado was pretty good. The start in Vegas, really good. And so that is the bright spot here. That's what I'm taking out. And quite frankly, I don't know about the home runs. A couple of the announcers, maybe I think it was Levering, but some of these guys thought they were pop-ups, and it was windy.
William Contreras thought in game 1, Tim, he thought that game-tying home run in the whatever it was, the 10th inning, he thought it was a pop-out. He pounded his glove and was like, "Let's get out of here." And all of a sudden, it kept going and going and going. You're like, "You got to be kidding me!"
Yeah, no, you're right on the money. So yeah, I mean, just kind of a weird situation, fun at times, a little frustrating at times, and I think we all come out of this with different attitude if they win that game 3. If they win on Wednesday, I think, maybe we have a little different mindset. So, now the challenge is Philly. I mean, you're coming off of that. This is a big series. This is a really big series.
Tim Allen joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Before we look forward, can we look back real quick? I just have a question about Pat Murphy. The Sproat thing gave me the yips. I didn't understand why he didn't stay in there at only 68 pitches. We can't really ask more out of our starters other than to just get us as deep into the game. But also, there was a moment where there was a runner on first and second, nobody out. David Hamilton was up. It was the most obvious bunt situation ever, and they let him swing away into an out. Then Joey Ortiz came out, hit into a double play, and ended the inning. That was not Pat Murphy baseball. What gives?
I think that's his quantum leap guy. If he's going to make that proclamation of quantum leap, he's got to let him swing that bat. I don't think any of us are going to accuse a quantum leap by having 15 to 18 bunt singles a year. You can't define it as a quantum leap. He does have his favorites, guys, and he does baby cake on players, and that's okay. That can work, and that can be successful. But on the other side, it can come back to bite you a little bit. The Sproat thing, that's a little bit of a baby cake. Hey, man, you did well. It's not only that. You did well, Brandon. We're going to sit you right there, leave you feeling good, and then we got our guys. Patrick's been awesome, and then we're just going to take it off the sheet here. We got 6 outs to get. There's a 2-run lead. We should be fine. So a little baby cake in there. And then on the other side, Hamilton, as I said, quantum leap guy, you got to let him go. So maybe it was a gut feeling. I mean, I asked Counsell years ago, like, how much of this is on, your analytics or is it kind of a gut? And he did say it's a little of both. I would say it's more on analytics for Counts. And Murph is more on a gut, a little more old school. So you're going to live and die by that sword. But I agree with you. You got to bunt the runners over, especially bottom of your order there. Flip that thing around to the top with Yelich and Jackson and Terang and these guys coming up. You can't give those runners in scoring position away. You can't. So maybe it's a learning process for him too.
Tim, when you were out there in Vegas, I'm sure you heard the news, though there was a new contract extension for another potentially up-and-comer in Luis Lara. Now, it's the second time the Brewers have done this year. Cooper Pratt was the first one. Your thoughts on the extension for Luis Lara, and when, if at all, do we see a guy like Lara or maybe Pratt or maybe Jet Williams up here at the major league level?
Well, the 40-man is important with Lara. And one would point at Blake Perkins, and you would say, can Lara do as good as Perkins? Brandon, you might be able to do as good as Perkins.
Tim, it's so hard. I think I could, but I hate saying that because he's such a nice guy. Like, he's such a good guy.
Great guy.
And I hate to be hard on him, but it's like, man, I just need a little bit more.
I feel horrible for him, man. I really do.
I do too.
I do. We as Brewer fans, we do have a heart. There's not a blackened soul in there. So we do care, and certainly Murphy cares, but that would be the question, Lara. And I just wonder overall if a work stoppage has maybe something to do with swooping in as organizations, posture for this thing. And some of these young kids, international kids, they didn't grow up with money. And so when they're popped with some money, take it now. Take it now. You get how much did he get up front? That would be the thing. What did he get up front? Where's my first direct digital deposit? How much is it and when? I wonder if organizations, not just the Brewers, are posturing for that work stoppage with some of their younger, higher end prospects. I think that has a little something to do with it. Or Matt Arnold and the Brewers organization are just saying, look, we do have the best farm system in the league. Let's lock these guys in. I'm curious. I would be really curious to know if, and the answer is probably right, how many others they've approached on things like this. I mean, I would suspect there's more. An Andrew Fisher, Madej, some of these other guys that, you wonder about, and maybe they're holding off and saying, well, let's get through the work stoppage and then we can talk about it. But it's quite fascinating now with three of these guys, signed long-term. I include Jackson in there, but now I would suspect more. Why not? Why wouldn't you? You did it with these three. Why wouldn't you do it more?
Tim Allen on Inside Wisconsin Sports. All right, let's look ahead now. Phillies and Cleveland, the next 6 games for the Brewers over the next 7 days. But we're only about a month away from the All-Star break. And between now and then, we play 29 games, but 17 of them are against Central Division opponents, meaning we could either allow other teams back into this accidentally or really set ourselves apart from the rest and take quite the lead in first place in the Central heading into the All-Star break. But you said it best. This weekend's games against the Phillies are a big weekend. What do we expect to see from the Brewers, especially with Miz on the mound tonight?
Yeah, series. Get the series. I feel really good. They had 13 games in 13 days, and they went 8-5. And just an eyelash away from that 9-4. Okay, but 8-5. What it did was it bit off a half a month worth of baseball, and you're looking at 12 of those halves. So you bit off a half of a month's worth of baseball with a +3 at 8-5. I would take 8-5 for the next 13 again. Make those other guys get on the run. Make those other guys get on the roll. Quite frankly, I don't know if they can do it. I really don't. St. Louis is playing. We keep saying it, but here we are, mid-June already, boys.
Gosh,
and they're playing over their head, Brandon. I mean, you would think they'd come down a little bit, but we'll see. But yeah, the next 13, I would take another 8-5. You want to hold serve here into that All-Star break, and you'll be fine. Now the concern would be the pitching, because their pitching is a wild trip to Hollywood right now. It's a little swervy, and who's in your rotation, who's out of the rotation, an off day, yesterday, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, strong to the finish in the first half.
Tim, when you look at this Brewers team, looking at big picture, and Trevor mentioned the upcoming schedule, after that's part of the schedule, it's the trade deadline. And a lot of names being linked to the Milwaukee Brewers and fans kind of growing a little impatient, wanting Matt Arnold to kind of just push all the chips in the center of the table and go all in and not just do it when Tim's in Vegas, but do it, at the trade deadline. Do you think, because of the start the Brewers have had, they're 41-25 on the season, they're the quickest in Brewers franchise history to 40 wins to begin the season. Do you think the pressure has been turned up or turned down on Matt Arnold to make a big move?
Oh, well, I mean, the longer this goes on, you hang around 14, 16, 17 games over 500. To some degree, you have to push some chips in. To some degree, you have to. Because, I mean, we hear that term all the time, and it's, go all in. Go all in. Well, what, when people say that to you, when Brewer fans, including myself, ask them on the back half of that, what do you mean by that? What does that mean to you? Get as specific and articulate as you can when you say go all in, slide the chips in. It's really, there's gray there. There's just a lot of gray there. But I would say this. You have to make this team better at the deadline. If they continue this, it's a slam dunk. You have to make it better. So whatever Matt Arnold's definition of making that team better, whether that's, a reliever, they could use a reliever, whether that's a starter. I'm thinking maybe a starter, which I didn't think earlier. And then I did think it. Now I don't think it. And then I do think it. Position player, people are pointing at the left side of the diamond. And they're going to say, well, We've got other Caleb Durbins to run around and catch lightning in a bottle. We've got a Jet Williams. Look what Caleb did last year. Why can't Jet do that?
Andrew Vaughn, Tim, to your point, Andrew Vaughn played third base out there in Vegas.
And Andrew Vaughn, which is quite fascinating. It's tough and adjusting or making your team better. That's a way to make your team better in their mind, maybe, because I don't think you can sit Vaughn. I just don't. You got to find a way. You got to find a way to get him at bats. You just do. Whether that's half a game, every night, but you have to get him in there. He's dynamite. He's been dynamite. And whether it's 3-run homers or grand slams, fine. I don't care. But that dude is turning out to be a pretty damn good hitter. And you can't sit that thing. That's not a Gary Sanchez right there. That's an Andrew Vaughn right there. So that might be a way to make the team a little bit better. But the chips in, come on, guys. He'll make it better. If this continues, he has to. And you keep doing what you're doing incrementally. You know, the Mets series in the playoffs, ouch. Then you get the Cubs series. Yeah, you're advancing. You keep advancing here. Maybe this is the year he pushes more chips in than we think.
No pun intended, but I think we covered all the bases. Like, we got a lot out of that.
We pushed some chips in from Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So Brewers this weekend. We'll chat with you again on Monday morning. Timmy, you're the best. Welcome back.
Good to be back. All right. Thanks, guys.
Tim Allen joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Literally all the bases. Anything else that you didn't learn in that conversation, Brandon, that you wanted to get information on?
No, Tim is the absolute best. I could talk baseball with Tim every day, every hour of every day. He is fantastic. And maybe get some Vegas advice from Tim.
Well, I'll take it. I joke that every once in a while I'll forget that I'm hosting this and I turn into a listener the time with Tim. I don't know if you saw it on my face, but I was sitting here listening and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I think I have to ask the next question.
You're absolutely spot on, because even when he's on 9 to Noon, I'm the producer of that show, but I just find myself just actually like taking a second to just really listen to what he's saying. And then I get lost into, in what he's saying. And I'm like, oh yeah, I also have to be making sure I'm doing, X, Y, and Z over here behind the board. But yeah, I listen to him after every Brewers game for the post game. He is the best.
We talked about it earlier. This is like the best sports weekend in a long time. NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Final, the UFC on Sunday at the White House. We have the World Cup tonight. 3 home games for the Brewers. What's up, Wisconsin weekend? What are you guys doing? How are you watching the games? Where are you headed? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. I think there's a Brewers game with my boys in the neighborhood on it tonight in somebody's backyard or garage, and that makes for a great nap, typically early afternoon on a Saturday. Just saying. All right, we'll get back in a second. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. That's Brandon Snide, and we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I don't know if you
What's up, Madison? That's right. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network just got bigger. You can now listen to this very network in Madtown on 94.9 HD2. Your favorite local shows each weekday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Plus the best in Brewers coverage with the leadoff show and the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show. Keep it tuned to 94.9 HD2 when you're listening to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network in Madison. What's up to the rest of the state, too? It's an Inside Wisconsin Sports Morning with Trevor Thomas and Brandon Snide in for Josh this morning. Wanting to know what's up in your world this weekend, Wisconsin, 414-677-1250. That's the Nicolay Law talk and text line. We mentioned it. It's a big weekend for sports. 3 home Brewer games at AmFam Field tonight, tomorrow night, day game on Sunday. Nice to have the Brewers playing before, I don't know, any time on the West Coast the last few days. They don't have another game after 7 until Cincinnati on July 1st, and that one's 7:10. I will take it, but then they go to Arizona.
That's not as bad, right? That they're Mountain Standard Time, so they're an hour behind
8:40 start.
Okay, that's kind of late.
I don't know. Do they? Yeah, it's totally late for us. I don't know about you. I think it's on the weekend, though. What are you doing this weekend?
You know, it's going to sound crazy. And with 5 kids running around in the house, I don't really have a whole lot planned, Trevor. So obviously I have the Brewer games. I do post games for Locked On Brewers. So I'll be obviously glued into the Milwaukee Brewer games tonight, Saturday, and Sunday. But we have we host a very large July 4th party. And I know that's crazy to say because it's June 12th and we're 3 weeks away. Slowly starting to get ready for that because it is a massive party where there's an open invite. So you're invited as well, Trevor. We have a pool out in the backyard. We grill out. So I'm kind of cleaning out the sheds, cleaning off the patios, power washing the patio, or the patio furniture. So slowly kind of getting things together around the house for July 4th, which is crazy because the kids just wrapped up school yesterday and we're already talking about a holiday in July, but it comes quick. And I'm obviously going to be glued into the Wisconsin sports weekend that we will have, which will include obviously the Milwaukee Brewers. I'll probably watch the NBA Finals, hoping it ends so I can see if I can get some clarity on the Giannis situation before the NBA draft comes a couple weeks. So yeah, it's going to be kind of a low-key-ish weekend at home, which I don't really get a lot of.
'Tis the season, though. You're right. I mean, the weekends get crazy, especially come July. Same for us. We're just going to be chilling around the house. Maybe do a little dinner, grill out, something along those lines. Definitely getting together with the boys in the hood, we call it. The group of guys that get together and watch Brewers baseball games in backyard patios or garage TVs.
So are those assigned to the games, or is it like, hey, we're doing it, like, let's come to my garage, let's go to this garage? Like, how does it work?
So typically when the text goes out, I happen to be the one that sent it this morning that said Brewers baseball tonight, boys. The one we got back was from my buddy Gift so far that said, let's do it.
There you go.
So now this is when we'll him and haw. Where are we going to do it? Who's going out to dinner beforehand? Are we we don't know. We're dudes.
Are Friday nights your favorite night of the week? Favorite day of the week? Because they
100%.
are. Me too, man. It's just there's a good vibe, right? Work is a good vibe. It's fun. People are usually in a good mood for the most part. And then it's just like Friday nights, you're at home. In your case, you'll be in a garage, potentially watching a Brewer game. Hopefully, a Brewers win. And you got 2 days in front of you that you can kind of just unwind and get things done. I mean, Friday, there's nothing better than a Friday night. Certainly nothing better than a Friday night in summer.
With good weather.
Good,
importante.
Correct.
And good sports. Brewers tonight. World Cup tonight. NBA Finals this weekend. NHL Final this weekend. Or the Stanley Cup Final, as it's called. But I compared NHL and NBA and the word final. And boy, did I get crushed for that a few weeks ago. Hoy. You're not allowed to say.
You said NHL Finals.
You can't say NHL Finals.
It's got to be Stanley Cup.
Very, very wrong. I thought you worked in sports.
I mean, now we're just getting
whatever.
Yeah.
Are you watching soccer?
I'm gonna watch Team USA
tonight.
Yeah, I'll watch them tonight. I'll have 2 TVs on because the Brewers obviously taking on the Phillies, which is gonna feel like the Brewers are playing in midday with a 6:40, as you mentioned, a 6:40 start. Like it's gonna feel like my goodness, what do I do with the rest of the night? Monday, I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. because that game out there in Vegas didn't get over until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So this is going to be incredible. Getting normal amount of sleep this week. So I'm excited for that as well. But yeah, I will be watching Team USA. Again, Trevor, if you paint Team USA on a wall, I'll watch the paint dry in hopes that it finishes before anybody else. Like
That's a great line right there. That was a great line.
I love
Jacob
it.
in a van. Jacob in a van on the Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250. Amongst others, also planning to chill this weekend. Tiffany says get some sleep after a long week of the Brewers being on the West Coast. Jacob in a van is headed. This is our guy. Our guy Jacob does all of the things that the majority of us other sports fans don't do, and it's awesome. His plan this weekend: truck and tractor pulls tonight at the Racine County Fairgrounds in Union Grove.
That's not far from my spot.
My guy, that's going to be a blast.
So what is that exactly? Are you
a truck and track? Stop it.
No, I'm going to be honest. I got transparency since we started the show, Trevor. I'd be lying if I told you I actually knew what a truck and tractor pull is. So.
Jacob, will you call, please? 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law talking text line. Jacob in a van. Paging Jacob in a van. Line 1. Jacob in a van. Line 1. There's a machine.
Okay.
And it weighs a lot. And it has the ability to be changed in terms of weights and the drag and all of those. Guys, gals, they grab their tractors and they grab their trucks. And they're made for this typically. And the idea is you pull it down a dirt track, and whoever can pull said pull thing, I don't know what it's called, the farthest, it has a name, they win. And there are tractors and there are trucks. But we're not just talking like your lawn tractor or your F-150. I mean, these are big, I can't believe you've never seen, do you know what a demolition derby is?
I know what a demolition derby is.
Well, you made that sound like,
I played that. I used to play that game on like the PS. I think it maybe have been PlayStation 1, the old school demolition derby game. But no, I didn't. I truly didn't. I'm not far from where Jacob is talking about. I'm in Caledonia. So I'm not, that's probably 15, 20 minutes from my house.
Well, then why don't you tape the soccer?
Well, Miz is on the mound tonight. Miz is must-see TV.
And it's Wisco jersey night, too.
Because every time Miz takes the mound, it could be a no-hitter, legitimately.
Celebrating my 50th birthday tonight with 38 family and friends at the Brewers game with my new custom Wisco jersey. Then a pool day tomorrow with pina coladas. Well, let's just knock 50 out of the park, shall we? Strawberry daiquiris, watching the Brewers game. Let's go.
You called out for Jacob in a van?
Did he listen to the page?
He called 414-677-1250. He's with us right now.
Jacob in a van. Good to put a voice to the name. Will you please hold Brandon's hand and explain to him what a truck and tractor pull is?
It's pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's either a truck or a tractor hooked up to a sled, and the goal is to pull the sled down the track as far as you can go.
Okay. That sounds...
So now that he made that sound very simple, and it truly is simple, but it's weirdly intense. And like the tractors have the front wheels pop off the ground and they're doing a wheelie down the track sometimes. Cool. Or some of these guys, you feel like they're going to literally run off the track because it seems to be going so well for them. And dare I say, Jacob, that a couple 2-3 Miller Lights are going to get crushed at this truck and tractor pull. I feel like that's required.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that definitely helps. You can go without it, but why? Why not?
Why? Thanks for the buzz, Jacob in a van. We appreciate you listening and chiming in as always and answering the page. Did that help, Brandon?
Yeah, I think it did. And again, that's not far from me. So that's something I could definitely check out one of these days. Because I'm open-minded to any competition whatsoever. Again, I will watch anything that includes, Team A versus Team B. So this sounds like this could probably get, quite, competitive, I would assume.
Our listeners in Middle Tennessee have a 12U baseball tournament again this weekend. Going to be a hot one down there, low 90s and 1,000,000% humidity. What am I doing this weekend, says the 414? My youngest daughter turns 21, and some of her friends are coming in from La Crosse, and then her friends are here in Milwaukee. About 13 of them total. They're all staying at our house. They're going to go to the Brewers on Saturday. Me and my wife, my oldest daughter, all going to be picking up from the bars. All right. I feel like we need to have some advice here as well. 13 21-year-old young women in your house. Okay. First things first. You ain't as good as you once was. Do not try to keep up with them. That will end poorly for you.
Especially from La Crosse.
And for mom. Yeah, right? They know what they're doing there. These are well-oiled machines that are on the way to your house for this 21st birthday. Secondly, you're going to need to plan for a mess. This is not going to end well. 13 21-year-old men or women coming home from the bars on a 21st birthday, just plan ahead. I'll put it that way. Okay? You just, and then, lastly, you have one job on Sunday morning and one job only, and it is waffles.
I was going to say, you got to have food.
Maybe some greasy burgers, but definitely food on Sunday morning.
Or you're making a trip to McDonald's, because the McDonald's breakfast after a long night of drinking always kind of helps. I mean, McDonald's breakfast hits anytime, but after
McDonald's after a long night of drinking, like, buddy.
Or Taco Bell.
Big Mac.
Yeah.
Maybe some chicken nuggets.
You got to have food, though. You got to make sure you have food.
High C orange. Real quick, I kind of want to hear how this weekend ends. So 414, you know who you are. Will you let us know on Monday how this shook out? Because I'm now fascinated by your life and your daughter's 21st birthday and 13 of your closest daughter's friends all being in your house after a night at the bars. You have my attention. I need to hear how this shakes down. Talk to you Monday? Yeah? Question mark?
Are they renting like a van, like driving these ladies around? Like 13? That's a lot of people to be, maneuvering around town, I'm assuming.
Sounds like they're going to have multiple vehicles and pick them all up from the bars. That's going to be fun.
Like a convoy going to the bars. That sounds like a great time. And I think the weather looks pretty good in the area. So should be a good weekend, certainly.
They're definitely going to lose one or two.
One or two, that would be successful. Right? Like,
how many we have left? We have 8.
That's a big group.
Where are the others? We don't know.
And, they're all probably different, right? Some can outdrink others, so they might not be able to last, all night. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to lose some early. Yeah. All right. I hope to hear from you on Monday. All right. When we come back, we cross over with our friends from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. They don't get Brandon today. We got Brandon on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I believe it's Mr. John Kuhn joining us next. We're live from the Wisconsin